2.
I'll tell you one thing. I know they would have never allowed that in Albuquerque.
Never been.
Yeah.
Heard it's nice.
Yeah. Well, they don't let that fly there.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
I don't think Albuquerque's can fly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
New Mexico.
Like turkey, I don't know.
All right. Hey, welcome to Dirty Mo Live. We are live. I just got the tweet notification that you probably just sent out.
I did.
Telling everyone that we're live.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's cool technology.
We are here on a Friday, and I think it's time to rock and roll. Andrew Curlin here, Dalton Greco, Travis Rockhold, here to talk all things NASCAR. Kansas coming up this weekend. The playoffs are underway. We got one race under our belts, and if you were watching us last week, we went over our brackets, and I'll tell you one thing. Who here feels pretty bad about some of the decisions they made on their bracket? Because I know I do.
Yeah, remember when I was like, Kyle Larson hasn't done anything to impress me?
Did you really say that? Dang. That's worse than I was going to say. I feel pretty stupid because Tyler Reddick led a bunch of laps. He's plus 30 to the cut line. I'm like, he's out the first round. So I feel pretty bad about my decision there.
I at least had Larson going to the second round. So
I had him going to the Final Four.
Well, we can't all be you, Travis.
Genius over here.
Although I'll have to go find my bracket because I forget.
Yeah.
I forget my thought. I'm gonna have to go find my thought because I can't remember some of the picks I made. So, anyways, yeah, big week, a huge week for us starting all of our shows on Tuesday. It feels like it has been a very long week in terms of all we accomplished.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay, fine.
You're disrespecting
starting
the
on
man,
Tuesday?
That Denny show.
his face.
That Denny show recorded on Monday.
Some of us worked on Monday.
All right, tell me about your.
We only
Tell
had
me
Joe.
about your
We only had
Monday.
Joe Gibbs on and announced Denny's contract.
Tell me about your Monday.
Pretty big moment.
Produced a podcast where Denny announced his contract extension. Kind of a big deal. Just gloss over and move to Tuesday. It's cool.
I forgot you guys got an early start.
Yeah.
On the week. I'm so sorry, Travis.
He almost had like the perfect weekend. He won his Golf Guys Tour championship. He won Xfinity. He should have won the race on Sunday and then contract.
Yeah. Almost went 4 for 4.
But yeah.
How was it having Joe?
Joe was awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah,
That's what
Coach
everybody
Gibbs, awesome. The stories that he told about Denny had Denny putting his head in his hands, laughing, maybe a little embarrassed. I wouldn't say embarrassed, but just laughing at Coach telling these stories. Denny apparently, I didn't know this, at one time was neighbors with Coach Gibbs.
That's one way to keep your
Wow.
eye on your driver.
I don't think Joe. It was the other way around. Denny moved next to Joe, wasn't that?
No, I know. But
Yeah.
It's just funny that Joe could just walk out on his back porch and be like, I wonder what Denny's up to.
Yeah. But so that Denny lived next to him for a little under 2 years, I think.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's good that he's got that contract news out of the way. I'm sure he's happy to not have to talk about that anymore.
Well, he said the amount of time that he spent on that contract between phone calls and meetings and Zooms and also just thinking about it, it's a lot because it wasn't just his contract with JGR. That was pretty much
Easy.
basically done.
Yeah.
It was 2311 and their alliance with JGR is 2311 and Toyota. Those had to get done. So that's 3 things now that he can check off and doesn't have to, focus on. Oh, and 2311's in the process of building their new headquarters.
Yeah. I pass by it every once in a while when I go
It's
down
in
to Charlotte.
Huntersville?
Yep.
Okay.
Right off the highway, you can see it.
Yeah. Good for Denny. I'm glad he's got all that behind him. We can clear the air and get someone like Joe Gibbs on the show is a great guest. That wasn't the only contract news that we had this week. John Hunter Nemechek is going to the 42 car at Legacy next season. We had a chance to actually go talk to John Hunter. When was it? On Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning, talked to Jimmy Johnson, the team owner, 7-time champ.
Yeah, just casual.
And we had a good conversation there. But that contract stuff I think is interesting because I don't think we truly realize all that does go into it, and especially with how everything at Legacy played out with Noah Gregson leaving the team. It was and we actually just posted that podcast, both interviews you can listen to in full but John Hunter and Jimmy kind of explained the timeline of when all of this happened and how quickly they had to get their eggs in place to get John Hunter on the team. Especially Jimmy talked about some of the hurdles that it takes to sign a new driver, especially with John Hunter. He's like, we want to get this done quick. We first and foremost need to make sure that he is interested, which is something that I feel like sometimes you forget is like, oh yeah, those conversations have to happen where a team has to go to the driver. The team really wants him, but they have to see if the driver even wants to take a swing at joining that team. So I thought that was very interesting, hearing John Hunter and Jimmy's take on both of those things.
Well, yeah, because it's not like an NFL or whatever sport. It's strictly the contract for playing. But with NASCAR, it's what sponsors can you bring to the table and those things. So it's not as cut and dry. And also think about, I think Jimmy mentioned this, is, Martin Truex, if he doesn't resign.
Yeah, like they were waiting on
you wonder
Truex
who
to figure out.
Legacy would have had to gone after if John Hunter wasn't there.
Gosh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been? If John Hunter ends up going to that 19 car at Joe Gibbs Racing, who then fills that spot?
I mean, thinking about who
We'll need to ask Colby
is
who
in
she
that-
thought
Yeah,
was
we'll
gonna
have
get
to
it.
ask.
Thinking
Colby's
about
our resident.
who would have been
silly
in
season.
that next seat
Yeah.
for a Toyota. I mean, I don't know.
By the way, good morning to everyone in the chat. I can see we've got a lot of people from Missouri commenting in. I wonder, are you guys going to the race this weekend? There were a few people who said they were just north of Kansas City, western North Carolina. I love it. That's some good stuff. I love the Kansas City area, especially the Kansas racetrack.
We've
It's
got
a great
some
spot.
Chase Chastain fans and Bubba fans in here.
Nice.
Come to win on
We'll
Sunday.
take them. We'll take
Okay.
all fans.
Yeah, well, and that kind of gets into our next conversation, which is the playoffs. That's what's going on right now. By the way, it is also the Xfinity Series regular season finale this weekend at Kansas, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I know John Hunter mentioned in our conversation earlier this week that he's going after that regular season championship, so that's going to be a race that we're going to have to keep an eye on too. And then come next week, we're going to be previewing the Xfinity Series playoffs as well, which is going to be interesting. I love that series. It's a fun one to watch. But Cup Series playoffs underway. Kyle Larson got a win, proved Dalton wrong. I'm pretty sure that's why he got the victory.
I would agree.
I think I heard him even say, like, hey, Dalton, screw you.
Yeah, he
Screw
he
this
gave
guy.
a look to the camera right before he got in the car and shot a wink, and I think that was definitely directed towards me. So, hey, I'm happy to motivate him.
Can you motivate Denny? Can I pay?
Yeah, I could say that Denny's not going to do well, but I just don't believe it. To be honest, the Toyotas are too good at Kansas, and Denny is on a tear right now. So it's yeah, I definitely don't think Denny's going to do well at Kansas. Air quotes.
We got a comment from 000 Music. Currently sitting in the Bojangles drive-thru.
Hey, we're sitting in the
Listening.
Bojangles studio.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome.
So
Yeah.
Bojangles has this new, like, pimento chicken sandwich that I need to try ASAP.
Oh yeah.
They've had it for a while, but I think they just brought it back. It's
Oh,
good.
okay.
I've had it. I mean, you're gonna need to run like 4 miles afterwards to burn off the calories, but it's,
How many
it's
pickleball games do I have to play to cancel it
a
out?
half in the heat that we've had.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But taking a look at the playoffs here, Kyle Larson obviously locked in with a win. Let's run through the playoff standings for those who don't have the standings in front of you. Kyle Larson in with a win. William Byron plus 45, Tyler Reddick plus 30, Busher plus 27, Denny plus 27, Truex plus 25, Kyle Busch plus 20, Keselowski plus 18, Blaney plus 16, Ross Chastain plus 13, Joey Logano plus 3, Christopher Bell plus 1. That's top 12. Now we go below the cut line. Bubba Wallace minus 1, Harvick minus 2, Stenhouse minus 4, Michael McDowell minus 19. Looking at this list, who should feel safe going into Kansas with 2 races left in the first round? Kyle Larson, I think, is feeling pretty safe. I think that's safe to assume.
I mean, yeah.
Uh,
It's safe to assume that he feels
Who
safe.
else without a win should be feeling pretty good?
Why don't you go?
I'll let you go first.
All right, fine. I'm going to say, so looking at the points, right, you can get 10 points per stage if you lead that stage, correct?
Yeah.
So, one race, kind of, you can get 20 I think that anybody who is 20 or below should not 20 points ahead or below should not feel safe. So my bet is that Martin
Cutoff is at
Truex feels
Truex.
safe, and Kyle Busch feels like he's got to go out and get some stage points. I think that your top 5 are kind of just racing for the win, going for it all at this point because they don't really have quote unquote much to lose. And then I think your bottom 6 are doing the same. The other guys are going to probably have to play a little bit of a different strategy and, plan on some stage wins.
And Bubba was he minus 36 going into the first round?
He was, yeah.
So he made up a big chunk.
And he's good at Kansas.
And I was going to say.
We talked about, who needs a win, right? If there's anybody, I don't think Bubba needs a win. I don't think
he doesn't
does.
need it, but if
I mean, it would help,
yeah,
but I don't
so
think he needs it.
Latart thinks so. Dirty Modo out. We taped yesterday. Latart thinks Bubba's going to have a great race, and the predictor model has Bubba 7th. So he could make, if he has another big week, he could put him in a spot where he's going in that final race of the first round where you're not comfortable, but you're like, all right, I've got some wiggle room here where I don't have to be perfect.
So, 2 things, and this is from the chat section. 000 Music, by the way, said they're gonna get that Bojangles sandwich. They're gonna try it, and they're gonna let us
I
know
need a
how
full
it,
review,
how it is.
please.
So I'm gonna keep my
I'll give you
eye
my
on the
phone number.
comments. Yeah, for a full review. But JR Racing Team says no one other than Larson and maybe Reddick can feel safe, and I feel like I kind of have to agree with them.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll add William Byron in there, too. So the top 3, Larson, Byron, Reddick, plus 45, plus 30, and a win.
So let me ask you this.
Honestly, I feel good about Byron being able to run and put together good races at Kansas and or Bristol, and same with Reddick. I think Reddick's going to grow his points after this Kansas race. But here's the thing, plus 27. Yeah, that's 27 spots in the track, but you factor in that there are 20 potential extra points that a driver can get in a race, and we've seen some pretty crazy stuff happen in the playoffs in terms of crashes happen, problems, unexpected things. 27 points is not very big of a buffer if you're going to have a problem, and that could happen to anyone fourth on down.
So Reddick is plus 30. Denny is plus 27. Take the points away. Who do you trust more in the next 2 races, Reddick or Hamlin?
That's tough.
I think it's I would probably lean towards Denny.
So then why would 3 points make you not think that Denny is going to advance?
All right, that's a fair argument. I think that's okay. So then I'll rearrange. I'm just saying, I guess the point I'm making is 30 points, while it seems like a lot, maybe isn't. So,
I mean, 'cause you think
I'll
about
adjust
it.
my list. Byron, Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Truex. I think barring if one of them had a problem at one race, either let it be Kansas or Bristol, they can allow for the other race, and they can recover from that. They can put together a solid effort at the other racetrack, should they have a problem at one of these 2 tracks, to be able to sneak their way into the next round. But I'm just saying, if you were to ask these 15 drivers, do you feel safe? I bet you a fair amount of them say no, more than we allow for.
Yeah. I don't think a driver's ever going to feel safe because they know what can happen. So JFB_48 says, I can see Seabell winning after having one of the worst races of his life at Darlington. And man, did they, he got Ty Gibbs' pit crew, and they didn't act as they didn't do the same things they did when they were.
They put on the Yahoo fire suits and just completely lost it. It was like the Bond stars.
I mean, you think about
powers.
JGR had a bad race at Darlington with that. Martin had a loose wheel. Denny had a loose wheel. So it'll be interesting to see how they rebound.
The Toyotas, oh gosh, I'm going to have to remember the stat. We talked about it on DBC. They led 300 plus something laps and only had 2 cars in the top 17.
Gosh.
I want to say show for the results.
That's brutal.
Yeah. But, and we were talking about this before we went live, Denny won both stages, did he not?
Yep. So he got 20
so,
right there,
So he got 20 there.
which is
So
huge.
he still had a pretty good points day despite not having the result he was looking for.
Well, and I think you're just going to see different strategies play out coming into this week. I mean, I don't think that you're going to see a Martin Truex or Kyle Larson style race where they go out and win both stages and then win the race. I don't think that I'm going to see that from anybody at Kansas or Bristol. So do you short pit before a stage and bet on a win? Do you do there's a lot of different ways this could be played. I think stage points for these guys are super important. But if you're someone like Michael McDowell or Ricky Stenhouse, maybe you just, go balls to the wall and try to win.
That's going to be the interesting thing, more so to watch at Bristol. But starting now, like Bubba, Kevin Harvick, Stenhouse, Chris Rubel, Joey Logano are all going to be racing each other differently. They might flip a stage to get points. And it's almost like how they were racing, how Bubba was racing, how Ty Gibbs was racing, those guys on the cut line leading into the playoffs. They're going to start that strategy now, which is going to throw the rest of the field off.
And we have to remember, too, a little bit of history here of who won Kansas last year and then Bristol.
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace won
Chris
Kansas,
Buescher.
and Chris Buescher won Bristol. So I'm honestly not too high on Chevys going into either of these races.
Here's your laps led last week. Denny had 177. Bell had 40 laps led. It's a lot of laps to not be.
It's a lot of laps for JGR to lead.
Joey Logano, I want to talk about him. +3. He's currently sitting 11th out of 12 in the playoff standings. Again, it's kind of a weird Logano year. I didn't have him going as far as maybe some other people would have in the playoffs this season. But I read a stat. Joey Logano leads the Cup Series in playoff wins at Kansas with 3 postseason victories, 2014, 2015, 2020, followed by 4 other drivers. 3 of them are not currently racing. One of them is Kevin Harvick. Most recently did it in 2016 in a postseason victory.
I think part of it is because he kind of this season could play out, if he won it all, would play out very similar to last year. That people think that he's gonna get hot, and I don't know if that you just because he got hot last year, it's hard. This is a sport where it's
hard to replicate.
Yeah, it's not like an NFL team where it's this is when they start turning. It's a little different, and I just think that this year just isn't.
Look at
his years, and I feel like I'm going to be Dalton next week.
Look at Truex. Yeah, again, we're going to have to run the tape back. Truex missed the playoffs last year. Now he is one of the favorites to win it all this year.
He was a regular season points champion.
Exactly.
Well, I'm curious to hear from the chat on who they think will do better than we expect at Kansas.
Who's going to outperform?
Who's going to outperform where they're at on the list, and who is going to underperform?
Well, yeah, and even so, looking at the cut line after Kansas, how does it change? I think Bubba goes into the green.
I agree.
He can absolutely. He's only -1. He
I think
won
Harvick
Kansas
does too.
last year. I think we watch Toyotas move forward in this race. All the Toyotas, I think, will gain some ground on the rest of the field.
So who drops?
I think Logano drops. Ross Chastain could potentially drop, maybe not below the cut line. Blaney is going to get closer to the cut line.
I think Ross has been, since Nashville, kind of
Logano
doubted.
I could see Blaney winning this race.
I think Ross is going to. I don't think Ross is going to win, but I think he's going to be top 10.
I could see that. That's the beautiful thing about Kansas is it just depends on who unloads with the most speed.
Where did Ross finish in the top 10 at Darlington?
No, I don't think so.
I want to say, because I know in terms of top 10s.
He was 5th in Darlington.
Top 5s, I think his last 2 top 5s were Darlington and then when he won in Nashville.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You do have to look at the type of racetrack. And again, like Nashville, Darlington, they're not necessarily like a Kansas, but you would operate them the same. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't really know where to throw Ross Chastain in the mix because I feel like we have not seen him much, but historically at these types of tracks, Trackhouse seems to do well.
And I think one thing that could play to his advantage is he kind of got knocked for how he, ever since the tall kind of changed his racing style. But, the second race of the first round is all about having just a solid finish. You don't need to go for broke or anything. And if he does that, I think that's where he can get a good finish, move up. If he reverts back to the old Ross and tries to go for that win when, you know what, 7th is there for you, then obviously bad things could happen. But if he just tries to go out there and get that 5th through 10th, I think he can.
Yeah.
I'll mention one more driver about Kansas as we preview this race in terms of how does the cut line change before and after. I think Bubba moves up, and I think we have to talk about Kevin Harvick being -2. Obviously,
So
he's
close
got
to winning
2
last week.
postseason wins at Kansas, like I said, most recently coming in 2016, the other in 2013. And out of this 16, he has the best average finish, 9.9 at Kansas. He had a great run at Darlington. The rest of the Stewart Haas cars were nowhere to be seen, but yet somehow Kevin Harvick in that number 4 Ford found speed at a track and in a year where we didn't necessarily believe he would have the speed that he has, especially now late in the season. Kevin Harvick, I also would say we would find above the cut line at Kansas, barring any mistakes. Plus, when you have Rodney on top of the box, you're going to be racing for points. You're going to be strategizing your way to get above that cut line. I feel good about Kevin Harvick coming out of Kansas better than he is going into it.
Well, and again, I mean, there's something to be said for experience. And, Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick all have the most experience in the field. And it's those minute things that they know over a Ross Chastain or a Christopher Bell that is going to make the difference in gaining spots on the track. I know the car's new. I know things are changing, but a driver's a driver through and through. And Kevin Harvick's one of the best to ever hold a wheel. So I really I have no expectations for this race in Kansas. I think there are cars that I think will be fast, Toyotas and Fords. I think it's naive.
Which Fords do you think in particular, though?
I think that you're going to see a strong showing from Harvick. I for some reason have
Harvick's going to be the strongest.
Because I think
I
outside
have a
of
feeling of Blaney. He won at Charlotte. It's similar to Kansas. He had a fast car there. I would not be surprised if they unload fast.
When's the last time Penske won?
Charlotte.
Yeah, right now it's to the point where
I mean, I get it.
to me, the next time that Penske wins, I'll be wrong, and because I won't predict them to win. Like, I'm not predicting a Penske car to win right now, just because I just really haven't RFK and maybe Harvick.
Yeah.
Yes. Catching up on the chat, 000 Music had the review.
I think it's double aught, and you'll have to correct me.
Double what?
Double aught music.
We got the review.
I think it's like a gauge of a.
You're gonna have to tell.
Caliber
Yeah,
of a
I
bullet.
could be completely wrong. First bite, 10 out of 10. So there you go.
10 out of 10.
I have not eaten lunch yet. And
Hey,
I might have to stop. by Bojangles on the
double
way
aught
back.
music. Let me know on the third bite, please.
Yeah.
Third bite was an 8.1.
Lance Libby
Oh, I was wondering
has
for
a
you.
great comment.
It was the
Something
first one.
that should
Thank
be
you, Lance.
discussed. You got to remember, especially last year, a non-playoff driver won this race.
They won the first 3 races.
Won the first 3 races. What about Chase Elliott?
He could.
Nope.
I don't
I mean, he
I don't
could.
see it.
I'm putting Chase's in the
But-
Penske boat for me. The next time Chase wins, I will not have predicted it because I'm not predicting. I think this year it's just something is not there.
Double O music.
And
okay.
if we
Double
keep
O music.
and we keep predicting Chase to win here, or whatever, I don't see it. The model doesn't love him either too much. He's in the middle of the 3rd tier.
Wouldn't it?
I just no.
Yeah.
But listen, if he did, I'd love it. Well,
I
unless
could see.
they don't
I could see
anymore.
less about Kansas. I could see Chase winning at Bristol. I mean, last year, right? The dust up with Harvick,
Yeah.
or was that last year or the year before?
I think it was the year before.
Well, either way, I mean, he was on his way to. I don't know. I could definitely see it happening.
Well, and Hendrick currently sitting at 299 wins. So you got to remember.
Yeah, that's true. That's
does
true.
Chase get the 300th win?
Yep.
Who said that? T-Raw 24 said that. Also, wouldn't it be double O music?
It would be double O.
Because there's 2. It's double, and then there's 2 O's, so double O.
Can you
I
just
don't
let us know what it is?
No, they
He
said
said
it. They
it's
said it was
double
double
O
O
music.
music.
007?
Maybe.
Great game.
Could be. Hey, looking at this, I printed out the top 16 playoffs and their stats at Kansas.
Oh,
Kyle
you did a
Busch.
lot of work this morning.
Yeah.
Came to play.
I put a whole chart. I mean, I didn't really put a whole chart together. I just
I see your
copy-paste.
chart and I raised you the model.
Kyle Busch, 5 DNFs. That's the second most out of the 16, minus Michael McDowell with 7 DNFs at Kansas. That's the type of thing we're going to have to worry about. I think a major playoff driver is not going to finish this race at Kansas. It's historically known to have been a problem track. I mean, I think I just saw 10 years ago, remember when Kyle Busch and Joey Logano crashed at Kansas, collided together?
Yeah. Nasty
and that changed the entire dynamic of what we thought was going to happen in the playoffs and what actually ended up happening.
So
it's going to be interesting to see who it's going to be, but we're going to have some drama. We're going to have someone crash out of this race or have something detrimental to their playoff campaign.
So
your
ranking thing here is just off of their history at Kansas?
This is just off of the history at Kansas between 2005 and 2023, which, by the way...
it also skews in Harvick's favor.
Well, no,
and it also hurts Ross Chastain because think about the years between 2005 and 2023 where he's had a good ride at Kansas.
Well, so I was going to say, so you have Buescher here 4th on the model, which is...
No. This is just playoff standings.
Oh, I thought you were ranking their...
No.
Never
This is
mind.
just 1 through 16 in terms of playoff
Stupid.
standings.
I don't want it.
You're just going to discard my hard work.
That was dumb.
I get it. So yeah, I think someone has a problem. I don't know who it is, but it's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, I'm excited to watch. Kansas is one of my favorite tracks to watch. So
let's
third bite, 9 out of 10. Has some spice. All right, I'm sold.
let's give our predictions. Who wins this race at Kansas? I've got my pick. Do you guys have someone
Who's
in mind?
yours?
I'm just going to go completely against myself last week. I think Tyler Reddick wins the race.
All right. Travis, you go.
Give me Bubba Wallace.
Bubba. I could see that.
I could see that.
I am, for some reason, this...
Did you say you picked Tyler Reddick?
I picked Tyler Reddick.
Ooh.
You picked Bubba.
Psst, pick Denny.
Yeah. Which, by the way, for DBC picks this week, if you haven't listened to Door Clear, you have to. But Casey picked Bubba Wallace for DBC picks, and then at the end, she's like, "Hold on, I got picker's remorse. Like, can I change my pick?" And Freddie's like, "That's my fucking car."
That's awesome.
He's like,
I
"Really?
love
Like,
it.
thanks for believing in me."
That's awesome.
Has Freddie picked Bubba at all this year?
He bet on himself. Yes, one race. I can't remember what race it was.
I feel like it was
but he has bet on himself.
Talladega or... No, it wasn't that. Maybe
I'll have
it was,
to go
maybe
think. It
Kansas
might have been
won.
the first.
What about
Kansas.
TJ?
Yeah.
Has TJ picked Brad at all this year?
Yeah, I think he picked himself at Atlanta,
Yeah.
maybe, or one of the drafting tracks.
All right. Well, the name that's jumping off the paper at me
Denny.
is look.
Denny.
I think it's going to be Ryan Blaney. Honestly, I don't know why. I just think they're going to find speed.
I don't know.
He won at a mile and a half. He dominated at a mile and a half. I wasn't whispering during your
Hey,
pick.
by the way, you could have picked Denny.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Boo,
why
that
are
sucks.
you making other people pick your
But see,
driver?
if Denny wins, I'm happy, and if Bubba wins, I'm happy because I was right. So now I got 2 ways to be happy. Instead
I'm
of just
happy.
picking Denny.
I'm pretty much happy whoever wins. I don't root against people
Dang.
except for Kyle Larson.
Should we have a wager?
I'm just kidding. I have no problem with Kyle Larson.
Should we have a wager of our 3? Whoever finishes the highest wins something.
I feel pretty good with.
How about
I
a
feel
Bojangles
really good
pimento
about my
sandwich?
pick.
Yeah.
How about a Bojangles pimento sandwich?
The next time Dirty Mo Live, the winner gets lunch paid for by the losers.
Okay, I like it,
I like that. Yep, I'm taking.
and I feel really good about my pick. I'll be honest.
I'm taking. I don't know why. I just have this gut feeling about Blaney. You're the stats guy. You're the beer guy. I got the guts.
Speaking of losers, we need to figure out our fantasy football. What the
Yes.
loser
Punishment.
has to do. Yeah.
So this is where we're gonna need a lot of chat involvement.
What's a good fantasy football?
We need a
punishment
fantasy football punishment that
that we can do live here.
that isn't gonna cost us a ton of money. That isn't gonna be permanent. No tattoos.
just slightly embarrassed, but not like.
But give us something good to.
We can't do haircuts. Like
Why
no.
because I don't think Tiff or Colby are gonna want their hair cut off. I just don't like.
Yeah.
I don't think you would either.
I'll shave my head.
Actually, you probably would. You've
You
done it
would
before.
because you've done it before. I'm
Yeah.
not shaving my head.
Yeah, so we can't. But something fun, but not permanent or.
So I will tell you guys. So in my personal league, shout out to Men's Bible Study. The,
That's the name of it.
and it's not. I don't know any
love
of them
that.
through church. It's just a random group of guys that I'm friends with, and we call it Men's Bible Study.
Wow. How about
Anyways, my punishment or the punishment for who lost last year was whoever got last place had to enter an amateur karate tournament.
I love that.
Yep, and
It's a great idea.
so the guy who lost, we settled on it. There was a couple amateur tournaments we didn't get him signed up for because he was going to be out of town, and then we found one that was on a Monday in Raleigh, and he was like, "I'm not going to take PTO to go get my ass kicked." So he's going to end up doing a demonstration for us instead, a karate demonstration breaking boards this year, and I think this one's going to stick. The punishment is whoever finishes last has to put on a Super Bowl halftime performance.
Like
at
singing?
the
That's
Super
pretty
Bowl.
good.
Yep.
Ooh.
So, and that's probably going to be the way that we stick with.
Does the
this
loser
year.
get to pick the songs?
It doesn't have to be singing. It could be a magic trick. It could be. It just has to be a performance. So,
Yeah, so we need to think about that, but we need some.
I
could
got
be
one.
Billy Bob the Juggler.
You got one?
I got one from the booth. How
All right.
about show up for an open mic comedy night?
Oh,
my
Oh,
gosh.
man.
You have to perform a set.
How long does the set have to be?
5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that would be difficult in and of itself. 5 minutes. so.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
like that idea.
If that's the case, I'm just gonna make sure my team is not the worst. Just like I don't need to win. Just be
Yep.
in the middle.
Loser has to make their most embarrassing photo the Dirty Mo Media social profile picture for the day.
Yeah.
I don't think Dale
Can
wants
you
that.
approve? I don't know if Dale.
Yeah. I don't think Dale wants that.
Oh man, open mic comedy night. That would be very interesting.
I like the idea.
Because like comedians have said, bombing
It's
in
not the
comedy
worst.
is the worst feeling.
Yeah. It's just like being completely rejected by everyone that you are
Especially
looking
in
at.
an atmosphere where people are expecting you to be funny.
Yeah, but I think there is one difference in that it's comedians. That's like their career. They're chasing the dream. So if they bomb, it's gonna look bad. Where you know that you're gonna bomb going into it, and so
Hey, you don't know.
I'm not gonna bomb.
I can promise you,
I'm not gonna bomb.
any of us that
I'm
go
gonna
there
try
and
my
lose,
best.
we will bomb and it'll be awful.
Even if it means stealing material.
If you steal material, no. Then
They're
you
like, I haven't heard this before.
yeah. So I was in Russia.
And the other day,
and I was friends with the
driving
mafia.
The other day, I was driving my car. Yeah. And they called me the machine.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what if you just did
It's
the
start doing someone
machine
else's
bit?
bit.
Yeah.
I like the
Like, where
idea.
it just doesn't fit you at all.
No, not at all. Yeah. I like the idea of doing a Dirty Mo live telethon where the loser has to stay on for 24 hours
Oh,
or
jeez.
until they raise a certain amount of money, and every certain dollar amount gets them off sooner.
We got a donation last week.
Yeah. So like
my friend.
I think that would be funny. And of course it would, go through charity like the Dale Jr. Foundation or
So that's
or
what
something
my
like
friend's league. The loser had to set up a lemonade stand for 8 hours.
That would be funny out here.
That's hilarious.
That would be
That's a
how
good
about like a
one.
mayonnaise
As a
stand?
grown man.
Like
You gotta set up. You gotta set up a
mayo
stand
stand.
outside the building here at
A
JRM.
sun drop.
It's so
stand.
funny.
And it has to be
Just
on
go
a
downtown
on a day
Mooresville.
where Dale's recording. So like he has to pass
Wow.
by. There's fans outside waiting for autographs.
And you have to take a day off to do it. Like it has to be PTO to do it.
Oh man.
That's a good one. I like that.
I think that would
Yes.
be great.
That is good.
So here's a driver. I'm trying to find the tweet. Or not the tweet, but the comment. I can't find it, but someone asked about Carson Hocevar. Your thoughts on him? Another chance in the car.
I mean, he proved it. I mean,
he had a great run at Darlington.
he
Legacy.
outperformed his
Oh,
car.
it's our boy Double Music had the comment.
I love it.
I think
I got one. The lemonade stand made me think of one more.
Okay.
Because just like thinking of people selling stuff. So you have to go somewhere and busk without knowing how to play the instrument. So
that would be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't leave until you raise like $50 or something like that.
So if you don't know how to play guitar, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I can play guitar.
That's a good one.
Oh, I should have told you guys that.
Yeah,
I can play
we
guitar
already
too.
knew.
Shoot.
We know that. We know that you have a drum set in your.
But it couldn't be.
I have a
It
drum
couldn't be.
set too.
It would have to be an instrument that's not a guitar because that's too easy. Like you could learn
Right,
four
right,
chords.
like string.
I feel like a flute, or like
Get him
a,
a cello.
or like like a full like vibraphone. Like
Get some steel drums.
yeah, exactly.
Get the Peter
Feeling
Pan
hot,
outfit.
hot.
I feel like if you had steel drums on a sidewalk, like people are just gonna tip you for the vibes.
Yeah.
It's like this guy, he's all right.
No, it's gonna be more like Cool Runnings. Like I'll pay you $1 to shut up.
Yeah, that's another thing. Or you have to go to an open music night. Just be
Yeah.
like, I wrote this song.
All right, I will go
I've
to
been
Nashville and do.
working
I will
so
go to
hard
Nashville
on
and
it, and
pay
it's
this
really
bet
bad.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, so
I think,
send us
I think
your
we've landed on
suggestions.
some good ones.
Yeah, let us know.
Yes. I like these ideas. This was a good brainstorming
Loser makes
session.
their phone number the DBC call-in for a week.
I saw that.
Lord,
Oh,
that's-
jeez. The thing
Brutal,
is,
no.
it's not for a week
That-
because people are going to keep calling your phone number.
yeah, they're gonna
Oh
have
my
it for
God.
good.
That's the problem.
That's from Double O Music.
Well,
Double
well,
O is like the co-host
well, the
today.
current phone
Yep.
number is Brett's. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not. No, it's not. But we can make it. We can
Oh,
make it
man.
Brett's. Hey, listen, I wanted to show this off here too before we went off. Our friends at Supercross. Take a look at this. They sent
Oh,
us
wow.
a big box. Look at this.
Wow, a
This-
big box thing.
this
Your bo-
arrived
I thought
at
that
my
was your
front
booster
door.
seat.
Yeah, it was. The Supercross World Championship finals start this week in Charlotte.
In Charlotte at the
at,
ZMAX.
at the ZMAX Dragway. I know tickets are on sale, and they sent me this. I've not opened it yet, so we can.
What if it like confetti just goes everywhere?
Yeah.
it
There's just
could
like
be-
a
this
live
could-
frog in
this
there.
could be
Boom!
bad. Okay, let's take a look and see what it is. Sorry, I know I'm completely blocking the camera. Okay, cool. We got some shirts.
Oh, let me see that.
Super Motocross.
That's a nice. I love a good heather gray shirt.
see
Oh
the
yeah,
shirt.
this is even more heather
Very
gray.
cool.
What size is that?
This is a medium.
Oh,
And
it's a
that's even
medium.
It looks
more
like-
gray.
Yeah.
You got any larges?
That
No,
one's
I
got
don't
the-
have any larges. That's another medium. And
This
look
one's
at
got
this,
the-
like a little nameplate we got.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That is really
We might have
cool.
to find a place to display this.
Yeah.
Ooh, up in our room. We'll start
Yeah,
collecting.
yeah.
Let me see that.
Dale's got his
cool.
cool things. We've got something now.
And
Take
we've
that,
got a-
We
Dale.
got stickers and decals in here too.
Supercross Finals hat. So
is
we
really
got some cool
cool.
stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it was very nice of them to send this our way. The Supercross.
They helped
finals
us out
start.
a lot with
Yeah, I mean they were
with Ricky.
their entire team, Sean. They were so great to work with. It's a great atmosphere if you've never been to Supercross. I know we were rolling our next level Ricky Carmichael series out.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Carmichael, super great, and some of those personalities in Supercross are pretty neat.
Yep.
So, thank you for sending that to us, Supercross. That's pretty neat.
Vegas.
Yes, we've got a big show coming up.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas. What's gonna happen in Vegas?
I don't know,
I'll
but
tell
it'll
you
stay
one
there.
thing. That show is staying in Vegas.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, the
So-
only way to find out what happens in Vegas
I
is
can
you
tell you-
gotta be there.
Yeah, that's
I
one
can
thing
tell
I
you
know.
firsthand that Mike Davis has said to me, nothing from that show will go out on
Nothing.
Dirty Mo platforms.
Nothing.
So if you want to see unfiltered
Dale Jr.
Dale Jr., DBC,
Mike Davis.
Yep.
Surprise guest.
that is the place to go. And I looked at the,
So to explain
the
it real
packages-
fast, though, they're going out to Westgate. There's going to be a live show in front of an audience that you can buy tickets to.
Right. And so it's a full show. It's not just a podcast. It's not just
I
nice
just got my hat.
Yeah. It's
Got
not
hooked
just
up.
it's not just a live recording of a podcast. They've done that in the past. This is a fully build out show.
Yeah, like if you went to the Nashville deal at Old Red, that was more of like a podcast that was live, and then we posted it. That ain't this.
No. So DBC, Dale Jr., Mike Davis up on stage, like we said.
And surprise guests.
And surprise
Which,
guests.
by the way, we had a meeting about this yesterday, going over what the show is going to look like. The surprise guests are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plural. So
Yes.
we're not showing our cards until
Mm-mm.
you sit down and you get
We got
there.
some aces up our sleeve.
We do have some aces up our
Nice.
sleeves.
See what I did there?
And it's
Very
going to be
good.
pretty
Micah
neat.
got it.
Man, you
I'm
hit the
telling you
jackpot.
guys,
It's a card joke in Vegas.
if you're going to the Vegas race, this is a great. It's on Friday
It's
night.
on Friday night.
It's in Vegas. You can go check out
It's on the
city.
It's on the strip, right?
The tickets are, really affordable, and the packages are
Packages
super affordable. If
So
you,
that's the thing. If you're going to Vegas, take a look at the tickets that are on sale. We've got tickets.
Don't go to Cirque du Soleil or Blue Man
No.
Group.
how many times can you see Barry Manilow? It's just-
DirtyMoMedia.com.
Who cares about Lady Gaga?
DirtyMoMedia.com/live. But if you're not going to Vegas, boy, have we got some unbelievable ticket packages available for
Yeah.
you to go to Vegas at a great price. Some even include going to the race, a meet and greet with Dale Jr., stay at a hotel. We've got it all. It's the full package. So make sure, again, go to dirtymomedia.com/live.
Mhm.
Right? That's the
That's
website
right.
to go check out information. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be
I-
unlike anything we've ever done before.
If I'm not going for work, I kind of want to go because I just want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear stories not about Dale. I want to hear stories about Mike Davis that I can use in the future on him.
Yeah, there you go. There's
Yeah.
there's no telling what's gonna happen. There could be stories.
And-
there could be lights, camera, action. I don't know.
And
but
that's the thing. The stories you're never going to hear on a podcast. Freddie has even gone out and said there are some stories that I will never share live on Door Bumper Clear. And if anyone alludes to any of the details there, just like,
Also,
I'm not giving you any dirt, but
I'm a little worried
he's
that
going to share that at
we're
Westgate.
letting DBC out in public in Vegas. That's
This is
This
just
might
going to
be the Hangover
this
Part
is gonna
4.
be the thing. Yeah, it might.
how
we
many
might just have to-
fireball shots will be consumed on the stage.
over under
Are you talking before, during,
20.
or after?
On the stage during.
Oh man,
over
A lot,
under
probably.
over under 10 I'm setting a
per or
line
total?
total
Total.
Over.
over.
I think so.
I'll take the under.
All right, I'll take even.
Yes, it is going to be great. The VVIP packages are almost sold out, so don't wait on this opportunity.
Yeah.
And Vegas is cool. And the track is awesome, by
Yeah.
the way. So you can make a whole trip out of this. Dale Jr. and Friends, Friday, October 13th at the Westgate Resort and Casino.
Yeah.
I would check it out.
Well,
I know you're going to check it out.
I've definitely.
And can I just say, how many times do we reiterate where to buy tickets? Handful of times.
Yeah.
That's way better than what Dale did on the download yesterday.
Yeah.
He was trying to conceal that
He was
information.
drawing it out. You can
You needed-
figure it
you
out
needed to wait.
some point.
And we will be sawing Dale in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to make them
actually, I
see a
can't
whole
make that
card
promise.
disappear.
I can't make that promise. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
just-
if it was just a magic show?
Yeah. Mike just learns how to do
Or what if
magic.
the
between
fantasy
now and then.
punishment is you got to go up on stage at Westgate and do a magic trick, and you don't know how to do a magic trick?
It'd have to be for next
I'll
year.
do
yeah, it would
that.
have to be.
That means I got to go to Vegas.
Yeah, you'll do that. Oh man. Anyways, this has been fun.
Has
It's
been
been
fun.
a good one.
Yeah, a lot of
Kansas
good
this
stuff.
weekend. Thank you guys in the chat for
I can't wait.
joining.
I can't wait for you guys to buy me lunch next week.
Nah, I'm telling you, Tyler Reddick. He's gonna go to Victory Lane,
Tyler Reddick,
and I'm not gonna have to bring
I'm
lunch.
Ryan
feeling,
Blaney.
I'm
next
feeling
week.
Blaney, man.
Bubba Wallace.
Betting on Blaney.
Yeah. Well, it's been real. Thank y'all for commenting, especially Double O Music.
Yeah,
for
thanks
the
for co-hosting.
Bojangles review. Yeah, basically. And we'll see you guys next week to recap Kansas, preview Bristol. By the way, Ultimate Experience is right around the corner. We can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That is going to be
You two are going,
a
right?
cool
Yep.
experience.
Yep.
We
it'll be
are.
fun. We can talk more about it next week.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
absolutely. Anyways, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in.